So are you doing Whole30, or maybe you're thinking about doing Whole30 and you're not quite sure? Well, these are a couple things that I wish I would have known before I started, because they totally don't tell you this before you start this elimination diet called Whole30. Howdy, I'm Shannon, and this is the Wonderluster, where together we explore topics that will help spark your sense of wonder so you can live the adventure of your lifetime. Today we're going to be talking about Whole30, which is an elimination diet where you stop eating all the stuff you love for 30 days and then see how you feel afterwards. Now, I did Whole30 because I wasn't really feeling great and I had gained some weight, and I read a whole bunch of stuff on it before I started, but even with that, there were still things that caught me off guard, and I'm hoping that this will be helpful for you as well. The first thing they don't tell you about Whole30 is that it's expensive. And yes, of course, I know that they're gonna be squawking about this, but truly, you can eat healthy for cheap, but Whole30 really is a challenge to eat cheap. If you were able to do Whole30 and not double your grocery budget, please leave a comment below and let me know what you did, because my grocery budget was insane during the entire Whole30. Now, eating healthy does not have to be expensive, but inherently, Whole30 kind of is. If you think about all the things in your pantry right now that are fillers that help make you feel full and offer nutrients, well, a lot of those things you can't have, like beans, rice, pasta, and bread. You can't have any of those things. So you find that even though you're just eating protein and veggies or fruit, those can add up, especially if you're doing them, you have less variety, you need to maybe buy new things. Like I found I was buying more expensive things like cherries instead of just, like frozen fruit, because I was getting really bored eating frozen peaches. Now, frozen peaches are my jam, but you kind of get bored over 30 days and find that you're shopping things that maybe you didn't buy before. It's cool for discovery, but it is really expensive. Another thing that I wish I would have been warned about, even though I knew I was going to be tired physically, and I really was, especially because I have an autoimmune disorder, I didn't know how tired I was going to be mentally. Whole30 literally challenges everything about your day. How you get up in the morning, what you eat, your snacks during the day, your little habits you didn't realize you were doing. And I spoke to one of my friends who is a dietitian and was kind of venting to her about how mentally exhausted and incapable I was of making decisions at the end of the day. And she gave me some good advice. She basically said, give yourself a little grace. You're literally challenging how you do everything, from how you grocery shop to how you prepare your food to what you eat to social events. Those types of small, minor changes can be really emotionally and mentally exhausting for you. So if you're doing Whole30 right now or thinking about it, just bake extra time in and try not to make any other changes in your life while you're doing Whole30. It might not be a good time to change up your wardrobe or redecorate your house or make really big decisions at work, like if you can help it, because these little micro changes, especially for the first 2 weeks, could be really mentally taxing for you. The next thing that they don't really tell you, they tell you a little bit if you go to the message boards, but I didn't really get this and I was kind of bummed when it happened to me, is that they talk a lot about tiger blood. The tiger blood, you're gonna feel this amazing surge of energy, and you're gonna be stronger and more mentally astute than you have been in a long time because you no longer have all this junk in your system. Well, I never got tiger blood, guys. I never got it. I think day 30 I started to feel normal, but because I have an autoimmune disorder, and for full transparency, I didn't know I had an autoimmune disorder when I started Whole30. It kind of happened at the tail end of my 30 days of elimination, when my results came back, and sure enough, I have Hashimoto's thyroiditis and hypothyroidism, yay. But my partner got tiger blood the first week. He started feeling amazing. Jerk, kidding. But I never really felt good. I just felt slightly better. I went through a terrible, terrible 2 weeks of withdrawals, insane flu-like symptoms, achy, tired cold, which is the result of having a autoimmune disorder, at least for me, but also withdrawals on sugar made me feel really crummy, and I was just tired. I felt like poop for the first 3 weeks. It wasn't until the tail end that I started feeling better. So if you're doing Whole30 and you're like, dude, why can't I feel the tiger blood that they talk about in the books? Well, maybe you won't, but I will say, spoiler alert, I'm glad I did Whole30. And if you're not really feeling the tiger blood, it's normal, it's okay, keep going, and maybe treat yourself to a new pair of shoes or a yoga class or I don't know, go see a movie or something, like treat yourself in other ways, whatever you need to do to stay motivated, but you may never catch the tiger blood, friend. I didn't. One thing I want to tell you about Whole30 that they don't really mention is that, especially if you're an emotional eater and you're like me and you're blissfully unaware that you're an emotional eater, you are going to feel all the feels during Whole30. All the feels. You're going to be pissed off because the bacon's more expensive. You're going to be depressed because now you can't even have beer and everyone's going to happy hour. You're going to be like high and low and sad and freaked out, and you're gonna hate yourself a little bit and then like love yourself. You're gonna have like an emotional roller coaster while you're going on Whole30. I mean, they kind of get into it to the books. I was still taken aback about like, now that I didn't have food as a crutch, an emotional crutch anymore, I had to feel all the feels, and I don't like the feels. So if that's you, bake some grace into your schedule. And maybe don't plan anything crazy or stressful while you're doing Whole30 if you can help it. Or maybe just tell your friends, like, I'm gonna be kind of a jerk and I'm really sorry, but I'm kind of a jerk right now. But it's amazing, like your day is just like energy levels too, but your feels, it's like you wake up annoyed, and then you're angry, and then you're like, no, I'm really proud I'm doing this, and then, oh, I really want pretzels and I can't have them, and then you're like, no, I'm doing great, I had a banana, and you feel kind of psychotic while you're doing Whole30, because if you're an emotional eater and it's starting to become like really obvious to you, yeah, you're gonna feel all the feels, and that's okay. Another thing that I want to relay to you, and I really want to drive this point home, is that you need to cut corners as much as possible. We've already talked about how maybe you shouldn't be making any really big or taxing or stressful decisions during the course of Whole30, but in every other way possible, cut corners and make room for the fact that you're a little bit tired and you're a little bit taxed and everything is challenging for you. Case in point, you're going to be spending way more time at the grocery store. The way you shop is going to be different. How long it takes you might be different in the beginning, especially if you're so used to processed foods, man. You're only shopping the perimeter of the store. You are going to be spending more time prepping. You're going to be doing dishes nonstop. You are going to be packing 3 meals a day. Like, wherever you can cut corners, whether that's using an Instant Pot and a crock pot, whether that's just prepping. I did meal batching on Sundays. Whether that means your laundry just isn't getting done as much, you're just gonna have to make adjustments in your schedule because you're spending a ton more time than you may be used to prepping your food, shopping for your food, packaging up your food, and then getting your food cleaned up and starting the cycle all over again. So cut corners as much as possible, and if you can, while you're starting Whole30 or before you start Whole30, think, how can I cut corners and make life simpler? Maybe it means that I don't go to the gym this week because I'm tired and I'm spending more time cooking and prepping. I mean, still go to the gym, like that's not the healthiest of answers or advice I can give you. But like, okay, maybe it's, you're not going to like your normal like volunteering just for that week. Or maybe you need to make adjustments in other ways that like you don't watch your favorite show, or, like you're just gonna have to make adjustments in your schedule because you're gonna be spending a lot more time with your food. So just know, cut corners wherever possible, and if you need to delegate to people in your family, if you can, or that just means the laundry don't get done, it's okay. Cut your corners to stay sane. The final thing, and probably the most important thing I can tell you about Whole30 that I apparently did not get until I did it, is that it's not Whole30. It's Whole60. Yeah, brah, you're gonna have to take 15 to 30 additional days depending on your health. For me, it took extra time because there's this great thing called the reintroduction phase. Reintroduction, where you are going to have to phase things back. You don't just stop Whole30 and then get to have like a wine and pizza night because dairy, gluten, alcohol. No. You have to stay on the Whole30 plan for another 15 to 30 days, and every couple days you incorporate one thing into the rotation and see how you feel. So my first thing, which I don't know if this is right, wrong, or indifferent, my first thing was wine. I was like, I'm about to like flip a table. My first thing was wine. So I still ate everything Whole30 for like that week, and I incorporated wine, and then for 2 or 3 days afterwards I saw how I felt. That went well. So it's like, okay, legumes. I'm gonna put legumes back in. Okay, cool. 2 or 3 days after that. All right. So I tried hummus. Now I'm gonna try like rice again. Put rice back into my diet. Cool. feel great. And so it takes, maybe 2 days after each reintroduction, which easily adds up to about 2 additional weeks of Whole30. So plan that into your life. I was like, Whole30, I could do anything for 30 days. I guess I didn't pick up on the fact that reintroduction was gonna be a bit of a doozy. It wasn't like it was super hard, but you still have to remain diligent during the reintroduction phase. And that was something I guess I didn't know before I started. So maybe had I known, I wouldn't have done it, but I'm really glad I did. In another video, I talked about the fact that I lost 9 pounds, and it really truly has revolutionized how I see my relationship with food. Now that I know that I have an autoimmune disorder, it's really helping me get a grapple on my health situation, and I feel more empowered than I did before to really grab my life by the reins. So if you're doing Whole30, or you're thinking about doing Whole30 and you don't think you could do it, or you don't think you can finish, I'm here to tell you, if I could do it, you can do it. Yeah, it was challenging. Yeah, it was hard, but running a marathon is hard. Having a baby is hard. Going through a breakup is hard. Those things are hard, but like you find when you get to the other side of them, even though they're challenging, they're usually worth it. So if you're thinking of doing Whole30 or you're watching this video to help you get through it, keep on going and don't give up. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, go ahead and hit that thumbs up or hit the thumbs down. It's all good. And if you want to make sure you don't miss a video from me, I'm going to be uploading weekly videos on travel, optimized living, wellness, and really just fun, cool topics every week because I'm on a journey to become happier, healthier, and I would love to have you join me. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button below. Check out my social media links. I'm on Instagram as Howdy Shannon. So I hope you will join me on this journey, and until next time, I will see you then. Bye guys.